Welcome to the DMV Super League, Episode 5. My name is Ryan Freeberger. I'm the commissioner of the league, and today I am joined by the wonderful Mr. Kevin Brennerman. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Ryan. Decided to take a step out from behind the booth and join and commentating one of our incredible matches tonight.
And we have a really good one for you tonight. Tonight, we are going to show you a match between Jordan McCutcheon from Dice City Games and one of our wild cards, Robert Avolio, representing the state of Maryland. Kevin, both of these strong players?
These are both really strong players. They're players that have had a really strong presence this season, players that you'll see at the top of the tables at your local BCQ.
Now, while they may be well known to our region, they're not well known to everyone, so let's go learn a little about them, starting with Robert. I'm here with Robert Avolio, the number 2 wild card from Maryland. How you doing today, Robert?
I'm good, Ryan. How are you?
I'm great. Now, you qualified by just sheer consistency. You were number 2 at multiple stores. You're doing very well at multiple stores, and you got here basically at the bottom possible spot for Maryland. Does that make you feel like an underdog, or do you still feel like you deserve to be here and you're going to win it all?
Yeah, a bit. Like this entire bracket, all 16 players it's a bit intimidating. These are some really good players. Yeah. But I was close to getting top 2 in Game Haven, I think. So like it was a bit of a disappointment when I fell out of that, but then I came back through the wild card. So that was nice.
Very good, very good. Now,
Yeah.
you haven't been playing Legacy for too long, right?
Not super long, no. I was mainly a modern player for a while, and then I started playing Legacy, and especially with the community here that like lends you decks and cards and stuff. And it was like, why am I ever playing modern? Like Legacy is so much more fun. So yeah. It hasn't been super long, but I've still been playing, since the beginning of the league at least.
All right, all right. And is this your second or your third season overall?
I've been here all season. Yeah, all 3 seasons.
Excellent, excellent. Well, consistency pays off, and congratulations on making it to the Super League. Let's talk about what you've with today. What'd you bring today?
Yeah. So this is Green White Depths. This is my main deck. It's kind of a mix between lands and Maverick. Kind of leaning more towards the Maverick side. Green Sun Zenith, Knight of the Reliquary, Land Toolbox, Creature Toolbox, that kind of thing. Straight up my alley. Like it's exactly what I want to be doing in Magic.
Now, interestingly, this is a deck you're very well known for, right? This is a deck you've played very consistently.
Yeah. So I know some people like kind of bring like Dan completely brought a deck he hasn't played before, or barely played. But I kind of figured with what Jordan usually brings, which is like kind of colorless painter stuff is what I'm expecting. I think I will have like a decent matchup into that with Green White Depths. And if not, I'm playing the deck I'm most comfortable with anyways. So I'm just gonna try to do my best that way.
So let's assume Jordan is on colorless painter. Do you feel good if that's the case?
Yeah, I think so. I made like a couple tweaks to my main board by bringing like an Outland Liberator in and moving a card out, and I added another Erode into the sideboard, which really helps against those planeswalkers. So I'd feel good against that. Yeah.
And if Jordan has pivoted, what are you afraid of because they would know you're on Green White Depth. They've known you for a very long time. Are you afraid of any specific deck that they could have pivoted to try and get you?
So I think some of my worst matchups are the go wide creature decks like Cradle Control and Energy. Just because like my removal is kind of very small, like it's just some swords, so like dealing with that is really hard. And then if they can like out aggro me, that's definitely a really quick way to kill me. And if they just have infinite blockers for Merit Lage, like Energy sometimes has, or definitely Cradle Control, then there's just really no way I'm getting through. So those are some bad matchups. And I also struggle against Control. I don't know if it's as much of a deck thing; it's more of a pilot thing. I definitely struggle against Control as a player, but Control is definitely like a rough matchup for me.
All right, well, let's find out. We're going to find out what you're going to play against. Good luck in the match. We're going to send it back to the booth. Thanks, Robert. Kevin, Green White Depths. Is that something you expect to see?
It's not something I expect to see. It's something I expect to see out of Robert, but something I'm starting to feel a little wary about if I'm known for registering in 2026.
Yeah, a deck you think is powerful enough to compete in 2026?
I think in this day and age, its power level has really waned over time. Like making a 2020 just isn't what it used to be. There's just so many interests
Absolutely.
in the format these days.
Well, let's see if Jordan's going to be packing any of them. Let's go down to the interview with Jordan. All right, I'm here with Jordan, who qualified as being the #1 seed from Dice City Games. Jordan, how are we doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Now, you were the model of consistency at Dice City. You crushed 100% crushed the weeklies, and you won a Dice City BCQ, securing your invite early in the season. That's got to make you feel very confident going into this.
Yep, feeling pretty good.
All right. So, at any point, did you have any doubt you were going to be that #1 seed from Dice City?
Yeah, I got pretty close in the last week with Terry. I think I only got it by a couple of points. Had to go 2-1, and Terry went 3-0.
About to
So
say, I do believe you went. I do think you. I think you got it by 2 points. So, Terry, no small customer. We're going to be seeing Terry in a couple weeks. Now, you are very well known for Colorless Painter. That is your bread and butter deck. Is that what you've brought to the table today?
that is what I brought. Yep, it's what I have the most experience with. Just decided to keep it simple, play my deck, and hope it works out.
So other people have been doing some pretty wild pivots, but you said, no, I know what I'm doing with this deck. I'm going to stick with it. Do you think that puts you at an advantage, a disadvantage, or both?
Probably a little bit of a disadvantage. Pretty obvious what I'm playing, but yeah, I just didn't feel like I had the time to pivot. I like to be pretty prepared, like get in a lot of leagues with a new deck, and didn't have the time to do that, so stuck with this deck.
All right. Now, if let's just, you like you said, we've just said you're very consistent on this deck. Robert probably knows you're playing it. Are you afraid that they have pivoted? And if so, what are you afraid they could have pivoted to?
I saw that Robert top 8 at a BCQ with green and white depths, and I'm assuming Robert's going to be on that deck or another green deck, which is a little bit scary, but I tried to tune my sideboard a little bit of my main deck with green creatures in mind.
All right. What specific cards are in there for that?
I usually don't like playing Dismember. It just deals a lot of damage, but I felt like I needed it, just expecting either Collector Oof or Catacteeg. Just wanted to be prepared for those cards.
All right. Well, good luck to you. We're going to see how it goes, and we're going to send it back to the booth. Thank you, Jordan. So both players sticking with the decks that got them here. The decks they are the most comfortable with. Kevin, what do you think about that?
I feel like it's pretty expected for both players, but to be honest, if I'm Robert, I'm a little nervous about that. Making a making a merit lodge in 2026 just doesn't feel like I want to be doing. And Jordan talking about how he only had to respect a sideboard slot or two really tells me a lot about how he feels about the matchup.
I think I have to agree. I mean, just we're looking at Jordan's deck. We have all these modern powerhouses and also cards that just have been broken since the game started. Tomb, monoliths. This is just the power difference. What do you think Robert has to do to actually win this?
I think Robert has to have a near ideal hand to win this. He can't really afford to slip up or trip, and he can't play into anything his opponent's doing. He he just has to hope that Jordan mulligans and that he draws really well, because otherwise, the deck that consistently breaks the mana curve and comes out ahead and is just really hitting that power level, I just think it lines up really poorly with what he's trying to do.
So what is Jordan's deal with any merit wage on the field? Like, do they have a way at least? Like, if we can get a merit wage, do we at least have a chance, or even that not good enough?
I don't even know if that's good enough, because if you make the 2020, your opponent's staring down at you with 4 copies of Kozilek's Command. So for colorless 1, you can make a Merit Lodge go away. That might be mistaken. I think that's just colorless. That's CMC.
There is.
So all of a sudden, tap Ancient Tomb, exile Merit Lodge. So
At instant speed.
And if I remember correctly, Sajiri's step says a color, so you can't even step your way out of this one.
No, I think you've got what Legolas's quick reflexes, and that's the list.
Is that a main deck card for Robert, or is that a sideboard special?
I sure hope it's main deck. I'm pretty sure he has two, but I mean, the worst part is if it's not main deck, it's probably not coming in, and frankly, it might be leaving in the sideboard when we get to that as well. So, all in all, I guess the only saving grace Robert's got here is that his opponent doesn't have a Nukin, so there's fewer copies.
If that's your saving grace, I'm starting to shake in my boots.
Yeah,
I'm really staring at the screen, going, "Is my opponent mulliganed? Can they mulligan again?" And even then, like, Ancient Tomb's a hell of a deal. Like, you mulligan to 5, and sometimes you're just like, "Yep, tomb, doesn't matter. I had 4 mana on turn 2 anyway."
yeah. Hey, you know what though? Sajiri Step does work if your opponent has made everything a color with Painter Servant. So, that's that heads up play. Maybe we'll get to see that in action.
That would be a really neat one to see, but I'm not sure I'm expecting Jordan to play into that one on this one. But it'd be really fun for us in the booth if that were to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we don't know what's going to happen, but you know what? It's time to find out. Let's go on down to the match for Jordan versus Robert. We're down in the feature match area for Robert and Jordan. On Robert's side, Kevin, do you like any of that?
I don't like any of that. We talked about in the pre-show how his hand had to be near perfect, and that's not it, and that's really not
Neither
this
is
either.
that. Nope. All right. Robert looking pretty strongly like they're going to 5. Jordan, on the other hand, windmill slammed?
That's pretty close to an ideal hand. We've got redundant copies of Painter, Ancient Tomb, Urza Saga, Kozilek Command, and a Lotus Petal for good luck.
Yeah,
I really
that's
like what I'm seeing
quite the
there.
hand. Robert keeping that hand.
Do you think he just doesn't think he can afford to go any lower in the matchup?
I guess so. I mean, he's got 2 copies of swords. He knows his opponent's probably a painter deck just based off experience. He's probably really sure right now, but now he's seen Saga. So I guess we're gonna find out. Robert quickly playing that wasteland and getting rid of that Saga. Agreed.
Say it helps stem the bleeding a little bit, but feels like we're just not doing anything after that. Like, I'm a little worried.
Well, speaking of not doing anything, I mean, Jordan's playing a painter. This thing's gonna get swords immediately.
Is this Painter
Um,
bait? Just you have to burn through at least a copy of swords. Might as well get through
I
it.
think so. When your opponent plays a flagstones and doesn't do anything, I think you have to assume your opponent's got a swords. Jordan drawing the planes, nothing action wise. Are they running out the second painter? Nope, doesn't look like it. Just pass.
Looks like we're setting up for a Kozilek's command here, and then Allego's Reflex is not doing anything with no creatures on the board, and we see that quickly hit the bin. Like, we really wanted to see any action there. Any of our Claimers, Knights, just anything.
Speaking of no action, Bajuka Bog, the card that's drawn. I mean, yeah, what land do you even play? I guess here's a Blast Zone.
Blast Zone at least has the potential to have some text in the matchup. Like, if you hit 2, you know that you can't die to Painter combo if you don't tap out, but leaving up 4 mana starts to become a huge cost, and I'm looking at Jordan's deck list. He's not really going for it unless he has to.
No.
K command on the end step here. Do you agree with these decisions? Just get him out of here?
I think so. I mean, neither of those cards were particularly exciting. This is a particularly exciting card, though. That's another Saga.
It feels like quite rewarded to me. Bottom all these and find what you want. And now,
kind of surprised at the painter play.
Yeah, I guess for mana efficiency, you just think you might as well run it out. I think Jordan at this point in the game has identified that the only way that he ends up losing is if he goes for the combo. And with Urza Saga, he kind of is presenting 2 different threats to answer. Presumably, he thinks, given the composition of Robert's hand, he either can't answer the Painter or can't answer the Urza Saga.
It seems pretty reasonable. I'm just wondering, we had Saga and 5 mana. I mean, that is just death if we need to play it, because we could have played Painter, get the grindstone, play Painter and activate. But I guess Jordan decided to go in a different direction and draws Tezzeret. What do you do now?
That's a hot one. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to do a little bit of math on this one. So we have access to a second Ancient Tomb. So That gives us 2, 4, 6. That gives us 8 mana.
Mhm.
So Tez leaves us with 5 left. If my math's right, that would give us lethal with 1 left over, but that would really assume that Jordan's absolutely willing to go for it.
Right.
Do you think he's going to get a defensive piece here?
He might. I think he down ticks and then let's sees what his opponent does.
Because he can do
Because
it all right
maybe
now with
Robert
this pedal and the Scion tokens.
sure can. I mean, it's certainly not an untap, so I think we're just thinking through our responses right now. Robert, flicking around the cards, looking pretty confident. I think you've got one option here, fam.
Yeah, we've got his swords, but there's a lot of farming that he wants to make his opponent do, and there's only 1 swords to be found in hand.
All right, here's the down tick. We are looking for what? What
I
are
think
we
here, I
going
think we're looking for that copy of Needle.
Copy needle just naming blast zone?
No, we're going
Nope.
for a desk.
Mishra's research desk. Okay, I guess, we did note that it didn't really look like Jordan was doing too much, so I guess they just want to see some more cards.
And it looks like here we're going to hold the desk till next turn after we've made a pair of constructs, and I think I really like that.
I absolutely
There's
agree.
no incentive to do that, and we talked about earlier about holding up mana's awkward for the game. I don't hate taking this painter off the table, but it's not what's killing you. And another land draw is just brutal.
Speaking of what's killing him, we've got to draw something that isn't a land at some point. Or, I mean, if we're going to draw a land, can it at least be Thespian Stage, just so we have something?
Stage, I almost would have taken Wasteland here, because otherwise Stage even feels like it would have been a little bit too slow. You didn't run out this Depths earlier?
Well, we got the swords off the board, but now our hand is just lands. Construct goes away. Draws an Ursa's Workshop. I don't think mana is what we needed, Jordan.
No, he's really looking for mana here, but the research desk represents so many pieces of cardboard.
Yeah.
And
this
needle's really fine. Nothing else really makes sense. We're not going to key anything. We're not trying to combo. Jordan's just, I think, starting to think ahead for, how do I lose this game? And naming Thespian Stage definitely says, I don't want to get 2020. I'm so far ahead right now.
So, Jordan playing out that research desk. What do you want to see here when we crack this?
I think I'd love to see a Karn or some other piece of recurring action. Not these. Don't want to see
I don't
these
think either
cards.
of those are
I guess Flute's an acceptable hit, but
I mean, you've already named Thespian Stage. What are you naming with the Flute?
Flute went off to Exile Land. I think you're just picking it because you don't need the land. I don't remember the exact timing restrictions of a research desk, but I think you have access to it for at least a little while.
I think it's either till the end step or till your next end step.
If it's till your next end step, it makes significantly more sense. But unearthing the research desk, I like here. We have access to a lot of mana. Oh,
and then, there we go. Now we can see a
Karn.
Karn?
Karn's starting to do math. So we can play out the Karn this turn. Oh, it must be until your next turn, because we definitely don't have the mana left to play Karn after this.
Nope, and I did just look. It is until the end of your next turn you may play that card. So Karn easily it would come down next turn. And by the way, that Tezzeret's at 8. Are we going to see an emblem?
We absolutely are. You want to kill your opponent some way, and how often can you say you see a Tezzeret emblem?
Choosing not to attack or put the tokens on something in attack, just put them on the construct, make it a big construct.
Both your artifacts are fairly valuable pieces, and there's just no reason to let your opponent swords them. But just the daggers of lands going on for Robert. Just the top of his deck decided it was just going to be a pile of lands, and you got to feel like the walls are closing in here.
At this point, I'm mentally wondering whether or not Robert has a second surveil land just so we can flagstones get a surveil land. And that's not where I want to be under any circumstances.
Quick glance at the list, and I believe we are just the one survey land in this list.
Yeah. Can't exactly imagine Robert has thought many times, I wish I had a second surveil land for flagstones, so.
I mean, I'm sure you want it all the time. The second that you draw 2 tap lands in your opener, you're like, get these out of my deck. Get them out of here. I don't want anything to do with this.
100%.
We see a card hit the battlefield. What are you thinking about here?
Well, I mean, we've got a lot of options in the sideboard. We've got Perilous Snare, Dismembers, Eldrazi Confluence. We can get the snare, but we're not going to.
We can't get Dismember here, but
no.
Are you going for the lock?
Do we have the lock? No, we're 1 mana short of the lock, right?
I guess it's locked next turn at that point, but
yeah.
Oh,
here we go
also,
again.
Don't forget, Karn can get back anything in exile, and Robert notably did bog his opponent.
That's true. Also, Research Desk is just in exile because of Unearth. That would have been a good one. But we chose Liquid Metal Coating just to really make it so Robert can't do a dang thing.
Yeah, it does. And we finally draw something off the top, but it feels like it's a little bit too little, too late.
Is that something? It's a 2/2 that can become a 3/3.
I mean, something here is just I've drawn exclusively lands and Swords to Plowshares all game.
Ooh, okay. I stand corrected. It can become a 4/4.
Oh. Yeah, but that's not the correction that we're really worried about. Also,
no,
is that how that works? Not. I see 2 counters on it, so I'm going to say that maybe you... No, I guess it's a 2/2. 2/2
yep,
for 2.
That is how math works.
Yep, apparently math is hard. Not the lock. All right, now we're just playing with our food. We're gonna ultimate this Tez a second time because all the flyers are artifacts.
Sure, why not?
And you gotta
make
think
both of our attackers lethal because we can.
And you gotta wonder, Robert, it's gotta pack it in. Your opponent's just having a good time. You gotta get out of here. Get me out of here.
No. If my opponent is styling on me and getting the second Tezzeret emblem, they have earned the right to kill. All right, never mind. I guess they haven't.
All right, I'm happy to get out of here. All right.
All right. Well, Jordan McCutcheon winning game 1. Let's go to the sideboard. What do we think?
So we see Jordan quickly reaching for the Dismembers they talked about in the pre-show, as well as a card you don't see a lot, the Eldrazi Confluence. Can you say you've seen that one too much recently, Ryan?
Unfortunately, yes, because I've seen a lot of Jordan's deck, but I do think I only have seen it in Jordan's deck.
And then, I guess on the flip side, not too many surprises there. I think we'll see him trim a little bit. Looks like he's placing a few cards off to the right. Looks like he's planning to go off the Painter plan. Any surprises from Robert's side? Looks like he's reaching for his Force of Vigors, his Collector Oof, his Gadok Teague, a couple of his own flutes. Anything else that's surprising or surprising to you?
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised by the Ice Tail Explorer. That seems to be at least in consideration. I think the rest makes perfect sense. Like Gadok Teague is here for exactly what we want. Collector Oof is here for this. Force of Vigor is here for this. Disruptor Flute, as I guess there's Planeswalkers and there's Grindstones, but I'm not really sure about the Ice Tail. Wastelands, I guess?
Wasteland Recursion, I guess we could think it's pretty strong, but otherwise, is it just an extra threat?
I guess so. I mean, we have said we need to get something rolling with Robert's deck, and maybe this is how we do it. Siding out, Bog, agreed, a Crop Rot, a Knight, a 6, a Badgermole Cub, a Swords, a Sagiri Step, and a Crocus. We're just 8 different cards, folks.
I mean, in this type of toolbox deck, when you get to trim some of the lands that don't really have relevant text, we talked in the pre-show about how Step just isn't what you want it to be in this type of matchup, and otherwise, Robert giving it a quick last once-over, and looks like we're walking in on that. No more lands to trim. So tell me, Ryan, out of the board, how are you feeling? Oh, Robert, really quick on that mulligan. I think that hand might have been closer than it gave credit, but was just ever so off, with Double Diamond actually being a lot worse than you might realize if you haven't run into that scenario before. And all right, compared to last game, I kind of like this hand. But granted, I have spectator view. Jordan's hand is terrifying.
Yep. I mean, we have, if they want, they can go Grim on one, or they can go 4 mana that doesn't hurt us on turn 2 and a Grim and a Tezzeret. Robert's hand, though, I think like the platonic ideal of a hand, if you weren't going to, like, you had to put a card back, and I'm disappointed by that, but otherwise, this is a pretty damn good hand.
Yeah. Do you think there's any merit here for saying that this is a slower game and that Diamond's not where you want to be and you'd rather protect your stuff?
I think so, because like we're not going to be able to use the diamond unless we draw a land to get out this knight, right?
Yeah.
Once again, this damn Legolas.
And I guess we're happy
keeping.
enough with it this time, but
Okay.
like, oh no, like he kept the Legolas, but I don't love playing into a potential removal spell. Like, Knight's
I mean,
only gonna be exactly a 5/5.
I mean, you're against Colorless Painter. You really probably aren't going to price them into a removal spell unless it's Kozilek's command. But yeah, this is going to be pretty unfortunate, I think.
But aren't you expecting potentially dismembers out of the board? Your creature toolbox deck.
I mean, you're expecting them, but how many do you think I mean, maybe you think your opponent has one. You're about to get punished for it, but I don't know how much credence I'm giving it to it. We don't have a way to get a 4th mana very easily. We don't have it in our hand, so maybe waiting isn't going to work.
And I guess if we weren't waiting there, I think the Legolas isn't what we want. And,
I think you're right, but
and now we
no matter what, Jordan cleans it up.
And now we see Tez searching up. I don't think we want that grindstone here. I think we might go for a key. We have to have so much mana off of a key.
I'd say we don't need more mana. Is it work research desk again? Oh, we cited it out.
Oh, there's no desk to be found. And I guess if you're worried about a collector oof, research desk just isn't something you want to be doing. Like, under an oof, that's just a horrible draw. Like, a lot of these are, but like, yeah.
I mean, it's not portable hole unless you know it is portable hole.
I guess that says what we're scared of. The planar nexus lets you filter for a color, and
and very unfortunately, there's that fourth source of mana. We could have done Knight and Legolas, but it's not going to work.
That's a Karn.
Hang on.
3,
Let's do math.
6. That's 10
exact.
mana. That's 10 mana right there.
Oh no. Oh no.
Are we done here?
I think. I mean, I have to assume Jordan's going to see it. He's searching. He's looking.
We saw him stylize a little bit last game, but I think right here you're just saying, I have a question. The question is, do you have your one of a road out of the sideboard? And we have the view of knowing that the answer to that one is no.
And there's the lattice. We're playing it. Down it comes. And we're done here. Jordan McCutcheon's going to win this 2-0 over Robert Avolio. Dice City, #1 seed, going on to the round of 8. Kevin, I think that went about as well as you expected.
If you're a fan of Jordan, then yeah, I think that went really well. And I think if you're a fan of making 2020s, that had to absolutely be just the train wreck that you just couldn't stop watching, because there were times where you and your opponent just weren't drawing out of it. But boy, that matched our predictions. It's kind of not in the way I wanted it to, though.
No, I mean, like, game 1, at least, both players were kind of drawing mid. Game 2 was just not what we wanted. And frankly, I think that was game 2. Both decks operating pretty decently, and then, turn 3 lattice luck.
We said it in the pre-show, but if game 2 was both players' ideal draws, then these are Magic decks of different eras. Just...
yeah. Well, let's see what Jordan feels about this. Let's go to the post-game interview. Jordan, congratulations. That was, without a doubt, our fastest Super League match yet at 17 minutes and 38 seconds. How does that feel?
It feels great, yeah. Very excited.
I mean, let's just talk about the games. I mean, game 1, I think at the end you were styling on your opponent, just to be clear. You weren't playing around anything, I think, at the end, right? You were just going for stuff?
Just going for stuff like I didn't even know what was the right play to do there, but I got the Scarab Swarm and double Tezzeret Emblem. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Double Tezzeret Emblem. I think that might be a first, definitely a first for Super League this season. Might be a first for me, having seen that period outside of Vintage. Is that a common occurrence with this deck?
Definitely not. I'm not sure I've ever done that before.
Well, we appreciate you doing it here on camera with us. And, you sideboarded lightning fast. Like, you knew exactly what you were doing. Have you played this matchup before, or is it just you're that familiar with this deck?
I think it's more of I'm not familiar with the deck. I definitely thought about how I would sideboard against green white depths and have the 4 removal spells, and that's what I wanted to do.
Now, and in game two, I think both of you kept as close to like the platonic idea of a hand for your particular decks. But I mean, you killed your opponent on turn 3 with extra space to spare. Is that also standard in that deck?
It happens a lot, yeah.
Okay. I mean, turn 1, you just went Monolith into Tez. Turn 2, your opponent played a Knight. You just went, that's nice. Die. Played Saga, and then turn 3, you just killed your opponent. That's gotta make you feel good going into the rest of the competition.
Yeah, I was surprised for a second there. I had the 6 mana to play the Lattice. Like, there's no way. Yep, that was quick.
I mean, can't do much there. All right. Well, your next round is going to be against Dan McKelvey. How do you feel about facing up against Dan?
I'm excited to play against Dan. We've had some matches in the past, and just the fact that he showed up with blue-black bounce is pretty sweet, so it feels like anything can go.
About to say, you and Dan, if I recall correctly, have played each other in the finals of a couple of Moto tournaments, right?
Yeah, I think so in the Legacy qualifier, we played in the top 4 for RCQ invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely some history there. A bit of a grudge match. We'll have to see how that goes. Jordan, congratulations. Good luck in the round of 8. And we're going to send it back to the booth to finish this out. Thank you, Jordan. Congratulations. Now, as Jordan just learned, Jordan's going to be playing Dan McKelvey in that round of 8. How do you think that's going to go, Kevin?
I think that's going to be a wild matchup. Dan already surprised us with the curveball in week 1, just off the back of vibes of, I saw a cool deck list and seemed like it'd be good against what my opponent plays. Do you see him doing that again?
I mean, it's very possible, particularly if Jordan's going to stay on Colorless Painter. Dan's already proven that he's willing to target people with weird deck choices, and if Jordan's going to stay there, Dan might have a field day. But, thinking about it, how do you target this? What do you target with this deck? It's got so many different avenues.
That's really hard, and I think we're seeing that problem at large with all these various Planar Nexus decks. They're not easy to target, so I think Dan has his work cut out for him.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Dan. Maybe he goes back to mono red. I don't know. But you know what? That's not our problem right now because that's in the round of 8. We're going to talk about the next round of 16 match, which is going to be Alex Knopf versus Paul Lynch. Alex, our second wild card, and Paul Lynch representing Game Haven. Who do you have in this one?
I think this one's going to be really close. Paul, notably known for playing just about everything, and Alex, fairly known for a series of decks. We've seen him actually doing quite well in a number of BCQs, all with kind of various flavors of Emery decks. So I think he might have a little bit of a target on his back when it comes to type of decks that he's really willing to go to.
I absolutely agree. So that's what you're going to be seeing next time on the DMV Super League. And if this kind of stuff has gotten you fired up for some competitive legacy, be sure to check out our gold tier stores. We couldn't do the show without them. That's going to be Paradise Games and Gifts, Dice City Games, Curio Cavern, Game Haven, and Level Up Games. And of course, if that's not enough for you, be sure to check us out at CubeCon DMV July 11th and 12th. We've got a 2-day Cube event, a big Legacy event on the Saturday, and the largest Pauper event ever to happen in North America on Sunday. Once again, that's CubeCon DMV. That's it from the DMV Super League. Join us next time. For Kevin Brenneman, I'm Ryan Freeberger, and we'll see you at DMV.